Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. You're once again most welcome to this lesson, an ICT last lesson this holiday from the Holistic E-Learning platform. And this afternoon we'll be proceeding from where we ended last week. We were trying to look at how to work with Microsoft Word, and specifically we concentrated on areas that can give you marks when you come to search a paper in your senior 6 this year when you're doing your UNEB. We talked about a number of areas, and just maybe to remind you of what we talked about, I'll be displaying those items here shortly. Can we get a word of prayer, an opening prayer from at least one of us here? And always is a volunteer. You just put up your hand and you'll be given a chance to say an opening prayer. Yeah, I said we need to have an opening prayer, and I'm still here waiting for a person to give us an opening prayer. Yes, Pravia, can go on.
God Father, stand with us, be with us. Be with us in each and everything. Be with our teacher. Let whatever we shall be taught be put into our minds forever. We have prayed through Jesus Christ our Lord.
Amen. Thank you very much, Flavia. I had a network issue here earlier, and I was struggling to hear everyone that side. Thank you so much for that opening prayer. We'll be starting shortly. I had told you earlier that we'll be proceeding from where we ended last week, and we're talking about what can help you pass Senior 6 computer, and specifically we were talking about Microsoft Word, and I'll be displaying shortly these ones here, the items that we discussed in the previous lesson while we were here. I want to welcome you all once again, and I will request that you know how to put up your hand, because then this being our last lesson, it will be purely student-centered, where you talk about what you feel you need to know. And I see if I can demonstrate it for you, how they do it this other side. I have also prepared a folder for you that is going to help you as you go back to your schools. The folder that I've prepared is here. It is having ICT support files, and I've labored to put most of the support files that you may need to know, that you may need to work with as you go to school. There are a number of support files inside this first folder, and many students were having difficulties the other time when I shared the support files on the WhatsApp group. Their phones couldn't open the support files easily because it needed you to unzip. So what I've done, I have unzipped and I've put them in one folder, and I'm going to be sharing with you this folder. And there is also the second folder here for for last year. It has all the papers. This is paper 1. You might need to read and see how they said paper 1. And I have put that question paper inside that folder. I have put paper 2 question paper as well. Paper 2 question paper looks like this. You can see preview over here. And that paper 2 has its support file here. This is the support file folder. For paper 2, I have also unzipped it for you. Then students who will have enough time also can try out to do paper 3 as well. Paper 3 looks like this, and its support file folder is also up here. So what is remaining is to share this folder with you. The beauty of this shared folder is that even if you go to a school where they don't allow phones, but provided your phone, your school can access internet, you can log into your email and get the support files and download them and maybe share the computer lab such that you can practice. You have the whole of this term to polish up this ICT, both paper 1 and the practical bit of it. You have next term to become very ready, and third term has so many commitments. You need to get to the principals. So ICT may not be given a lot of time, and in most cases during that time is when you can misfire and miss out even the point from the subsidiary subjects. So I want to add your mails here for those students who know their mails off head. Just put your mails in the chat. I'm going to send this directly to you, your mail, as the lesson goes on. So when you have your mail, you type it in the chat later on. I'm also going to share, maybe let me start by sharing this very drive let me copy it from here. I'm going to share this in the chat and see if you can access it. So if you get this in your phone, it is going to be a little easier for you to download it and work with it on your phone for those who are using phones to try out this. And on your laptop, it is even very easy for you to work with it. I'll put the link in the chat. You might need to copy it. You don't need to use it now. Just copy it somewhere such that you can access it every time you need it. So that folder is there, and we'll be continuing with yes, what we talked about last week. In the morning, I said this question paper, I wanted you to try out. And if at all you've tried out for Microsoft PowerPoint, for Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, and you got any difficulty or any challenge, and you want to share with us here and see if we can polish it up together, you are allowed. If at all you did not try, I wanted us to try out one question here. Then we see where we can end this afternoon. In today's lesson, I wanted us to, last week we ended on how to work with tables, how to work with tables in Microsoft Word. We didn't get a chance to talk about these shapes. The shapes are very important. They can ask you a full question paper, and they're asking students to work with shapes. And the shapes has only 3 principles. The first principle is how to fill that shape with a color, how to fill that shape outline with also a color, and lastly, how to write something inside that shape. And also we have a question that is popularly asked. They give you a question and they want you to insert a shape and write something inside that shape. So later on, we will also see how to work with shapes. Like I told you, this today is going to be purely student-centered. I also wanted, if time would allow, to talk about how to work with PowerPoint. And PowerPoint has about 13 lines if we are to go through line at a time. And I know time cannot allow us to go to database, but database has also been prepared here on about 14 lines. That would do us a very good deal. So you'll put up your hand, and if it's PowerPoint or Microsoft Word, and you have where you want me to demonstrate, you let me know, and I'll try it from this other side. I've left this open. Last week, there is a number of things we tried out, and specifically was Microsoft Word. And I said, if there is anything that you want me to emphasize on in Microsoft Word, just put up the hand, then suggest it, and we see if we can demonstrate it from this other side. And if Microsoft Word maybe no longer has issues, then we can open Microsoft Excel. I also displayed some of the commonly asked items in Microsoft Word here, and told you that last week we ended on line 12, and there are so many lines in Microsoft Word up to 25. Maybe you can read through and see if there is anything you want me to demonstrate I will try to demonstrate it. If there is nothing, then we'll open Microsoft PowerPoint. Then those who tried out questions in the morning, if you can still share with us and we see what we can do. Okay, I don't seem to see any hand up. I'll choose to work with shapes here. Yeah, as you get questions. Now, they will ask you questions on how to work with shapes, and maybe I'm going to sample out some of these commonly asked shapes. The commonly asked shape in Microsoft Word, PowerPoint is called a text box. And how do you work with the text box? How can the text box help you do anything you want? The text box is the main shape that we use when we are dealing with shapes. And I'll show you how to insert a text box and also how to write inside a text box. My laptop is a little slow this afternoon. I really don't know. A text box is picked from shapes and it looks like this. A text box allows you to write anything inside it. Maybe I may write inside and say ICT lesson 2, like that. It's actually lesson 3. So if you have a document and maybe it is very hard for you to create more space, for example, if the document looks like the one that I shared today in our lesson, in our WhatsApp group, and they have used almost all the space where you needed to write. There is question paper here. We use text boxes to fit anything inside there. So they may give you a support file and they have written almost on every page, and they want you to fit a heading somewhere, or maybe they want to fit a specific word. Yes, you are encouraged to use text boxes to achieve that. And I'm going to demonstrate this here shortly. And there is this document I shared, and maybe if this is the only space that is remaining, but you cannot easily type there anything. Yes, you insert what we call a text box. It is picked from shapes up here, and you can write anything here. You can even put a full or paragraph inside this text box. And this text box has always what we call a fill color behind. You can see it is covering that work. And when you write, maybe ICT lesson 3, like that. Let me change its color. But it is different from what. Let me bold it and make it red like this. So I want to fit the word ICT here. But you see when I put, it covers that it is, this text box is covering my work behind here. What is covering this work is not the text box, but what we call the text box fill color. So you double click on it like this, and when you double click, and a new tab will appear up here called the shape format. Take a look at that once again. When I do not double click on it, that feature is disabled up here. But when you double tap on it, that feature will appear. It's called the shape format. And when you click on it, it gives you an option to change the fill color of that text box. And the text box color that is there currently is white. This is the shape fill color that I'm talking about. The one that is there currently is white. So I'm supposed to remove that white and put the color of my choice if I want, or I remove that color and leave it without any color. See, when I put maybe blue, it will look like that. That is what they call the shape fill. And I'll remove and put no fill. When you put no fill, it will look like that. There is no color now, and this text box is now transparent, and the person may not know that you're fitting it there. But now what is making it hard is that this text box has an outline. You see that box that is around there. So we can also remove that box. It's called the shape outline. You also go to the shape format and remove this shape outline. It was black previously. I can change it to red. You can see the shape outline looks like that. It was black, now it is red. I want it to be completely not there. So when I come to shape outline, I'll say no outline. And when you look at my word, it would have now fitted here very well. ICT lesson 3, and you may not know that I use the text box. I can even fit it even here. Yes, I can put it to fit here properly, like as if the person who typed this document wanted it at that point, depending on what you want to do with the text box. A text box is one of the most powerful shapes in Microsoft Word. If you learn how to work with it, it's going to do you a number of very important tasks. So I felt you need to see how to work with the text box before I can go to shapes. But meanwhile, I am just here waiting for questions, if there are any questions that I've talked about. For example, if you want to insert what we call, there is what we call a Venn diagram in mathematics. The one for 2 is a little easy, but the one that has 3, of course, when you're drawing it in the book, it's very easy for you to draw. But when you're trying it on a computer is when you find difficulties. This is a shape, which is a circle like that. And also insert another circle like this. Now you realize that these circles are all having a shape fill that is not allowing me to see this point of intersection for those who understand sets. So what I'm going to do here, I'm supposed to remove that fill color. And this is how we remove the fill color. I don't want it to be there completely. So even here, when I remove that fill color, it also remains transparent such that my second set does not cover this other one, to give me something similar to a Venn diagram, those 3 sets. I'm also going to put the next set down here. Maybe if the examiner wants you to come up with something like this. And these are shapes. Now, how do you write on these shapes or inside these shapes? You use text box. Alternatively, you can double click and write inside there. But there are some points where you cannot easily write. Now, like at this point here, it's hard for me to write in this point inside here. So what do I do if I am to put maybe a 5 inside here? I'm supposed to work with the text box. Text box is picked from shape fill, and I come and draw it maybe somewhere here. And after drawing it, if I want to write 5 as my right up there, I'll write like that. But the shape, this text box now has an outline that I don't want. So I will have to remove it. Remember, I showed you how they remove shape outlines. How do they remove shape outlines? You're supposed to go to shape format up here. And when you go to shape format, you look for shape outline. Unfortunately, my PC is misbehaving here. I can't click there. So that is how you can work with shapes in Microsoft Word. The shape can be of any type. They can tell you to construct anything that the examiner may be interested in. Normally, these questions are always very, very popular. Mock papers. They will give you a mock question paper that has a very abstract thing for Microsoft Word, and you may not know where to start from. So I have given you that hint, and maybe you can develop it with time. I may be forced to have that laptop restarted. Maybe, let me see if I can do that quickly. Meanwhile, I wanted to, at least hear people's voices. At least you speak something, and I see how to do it. Maybe from here is anything always wanted to do it. Is to do it as I try to start my. I'll be giving my laptop some time to get back on. So if there is anything you want to pass across, you're free. The microphones are open. The chat is open. You can put up the hand and you'll be given a chance to say something. Now, putting a header on one page alone, I've never seen that. And I believe with the ICT that I have interacted with, that is not possible. With what I have done so far, putting a header on one page in a document is not possible. Even the definition of a header itself rules that option out, because a header is a document that is a piece of text that appears on all the pages. So if the question ever asks you to put it on one page, maybe the examiner would have just wanted to disturb you. But as far as I am concerned, I have never seen that asked, and I have never seen it possible. But while we were at the university, there are some courseworks that requires you to put headers on only one page and not the rest. So how do you achieve that? You create two documents. One with the header that will have, you create two documents, but I've never seen if that can be even examined. For purposes of just printing, you create two documents, And then after creating two documents, the first document has the header. Then the second document should not have the header. Then when you're printing, it will appear the same. Then you get the two documents and staple to look as if you put on the same, on only one page. I explain how to put a watermark on only one page. Yeah, a watermark can be put on only one page. Yeah, that is very possible. And I really don't know if my phone can do that. Let me try as my laptop gets back. A watermark can be put on one page, and I'm going to demonstrate that. Let me see if my phone can manage to do that. Alternatively, if it doesn't, then we'll have to do that using my laptop shortly. How do you put a watermark on only one page? You see, when you're going to insert a watermark, there is that option for you to right click, and when you right click, it will always ask you to put the watermark here. I'm trying it on my phone here and see if it can work. Yeah, unfortunately, the phone doesn't work with watermarks, but I'm going to emphasize that. Yeah, you're not able to see the screen because I have turned off my laptop, so no worries, it will be coming up soon. If there is any question, post it either in the chat or you can put up your hand and give you a chance to ask. I was showing you that particular bit where you work with the shapes, and these shapes are very important when it comes to PowerPoint. They will give you pre-typed slides. Then they tell you the Ministry of Education is planning to sensitize people on the new curriculum, for example. And they want you to insert your name somewhere. And it is not possible because they are telling you to insert the name on the slide that is already packed with a lot of content. So how do you achieve that? You quickly look for a text box, put it, and force your name to be put somewhere. So Enable can tease you to use the concept of Microsoft Word in PowerPoint, something like that. Can they say how to create a table of content? For the questions I have seen so far, I've never seen a question asking students to create a table of content like automatically. But if that question is being set, then it has to be manual. Creating a table of content is a matter of you knowing this page has what. Then you say, number 1, introduction to computer is on page 5. You put introduction to computer, dash, 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 you say 5. Then you say number 2, working with hardware components, dash, 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 number 10. That one is not hard, doing it manually. But if they ask you to do it automatically, then I have never seen that question. I am very sure they may not ask you to do that because even the content they give you in a support file cannot go past 10 pages in most cases. So the table of content may not be very, very necessary. But maybe for purposes of learning how they put, I'll also demonstrate here how to generate it either automatically, but that one will need us to to be having a full book that has about 100 pages for it to help us to generate them automatically. But I can give you a hint on how they make table of content manually, where you just say page 5 has what, then you put it in the table of content. Page 6 has what, then you put something like that. You want to know, someone wants to know how to draw graphs. Now, graphs, in most cases, these are questions for Excel. I didn't want to start on Excel because I have been informed very well that this class, most people have not started practicals, and I did not want to discourage people from doing practicals. You people, Excel is one of the easiest, but yet very disturbing if they are introducing it and they did not introduce it to you very well. It may appear a little disturbing, it may disturb you. So I wanted to avoid that because I didn't want students to leave here and say, me, I cannot now pass practicals because the man talked about how to put formulas and I don't seem to remember anything. So you need to do that physically such that a teacher is able to read your mood. For example, if I'm teaching in front, I am able to know that now that concept is now online here. I can't see people's moods, and yet you need to read people's moods to impart the skill. So it wasn't possible for us to start anything on Excel here because of that. But if you want to learn how to work with tables, if you want to learn how to work with graphs, even in Microsoft Word, they can ask such a question. And maybe I will also try to demonstrate how to work with graphs in Microsoft Word as well. But the graphs in Microsoft Word are inserted just like you insert any other shape. So you go to insert, pick graphs, and it will ask you to insert in the content. Maybe you are dealing with marks scored in a particular test, something like that. I'll also do that. Now this one is mail merging. Now today I have enough time to demonstrate most of the things, but this person who wants mail merging, maybe let that come at the very end when it clocks 4 and we still have what to do here. I will demonstrate how to work with mail merge for just a few people who may remain online. If at all, I don't get enough time to demonstrate how to work with mail merging within these 2 hours. So mail merging, you make sure you remind me, I will see what to do. But what I can talk about mail merging is that UNEB would want to see 3 files. The first file UNEB will want to see is if it is mailing a letter to parents, they want to see the original letter that you typed. Now that original letter should not have any parent's name. Then UNEB will also be interested in seeing who are these people going to receive this letter. And in most cases, these people who receives the letter are so many. It can be a minimum of 4, at least, maybe 4, 10, 20, going forward like that. So UNEB will want you to also show that table. Who are these people going to receive that information? So that is the second file. The first file is the original letter. The second file is the recipients list that has people who are going to receive this letter. Then the last one is combining that first letter with the table of the recipients to give you what we call the printouts. So printouts will have, if there are 11 recipients, it will have 11 pages. Previously, you had only 1 page, but after mail merging, it will become 11 of them. And you also save it as maybe letters for printing or something like that to make them the 3 files. I will also try to demonstrate that. I have not understood how to make a watermark. I will see what to do for watermark. Hyperlink and how do we use hyperlink. Okay. Teacher, what is hyperlink and how do we use it on Microsoft Word? Now, hyperlink means like if you're dealing with the websites, a website uses a lot of hyperlinks. Maybe the first one I can give you is Facebook. For those who have ever seen how Facebook look like, they have put so many hyperlinks. For example, if you want to see how many friends you have, you go where they have put friends and you click on it. So when you click on friends, it will load for a short time and it will bring all your friends that you have on Facebook. So how does it get to know that you wanted those friends? Is because they have put the word friends and they have put a hyperlink on that word friend. Any person who clicks on that word is redirected to a friends list somewhere. So a hyperlink also works like that. For example, in Microsoft Word, you may want to work with, maybe you're teaching your friends how to solve a question that is to do with LCM. Now, you tell them that the LCM of maybe 6 and maybe 6 and 80 or something like that. The LCM of the two numbers is 2 or 5, like that. But you have your working that you had worked out on a paper as a rough work. So you tell them that to see my side work, click here. So when they click there, that word will be hyperlinked with a photo of your side work. So a person who clicks there opens that photo that you used as your side work immediately. So that is how hyperlinks work. But in this case, UNEB is going to ask you to link within a document. A question will have about 3 pages or 4. Maybe a table is on page 5. Then they say, can you link a table that is on page 5 to a word table that appears in page 1? So you look for a word table that appears in page 1 and you link it to page 5 that has that table. Maybe I will also try to show that later on in the lesson, if time allows. How do you solve equations with Microsoft Word? How do you solve equations with Microsoft Word? Solving equations with Microsoft Word. If these are mathematical equations, it is not possible with Microsoft Word. Yeah, Microsoft Word can only perform a few, those simple calculations like adding 2 numbers, subtracting 2 numbers, dividing of 2 numbers or 3 numbers or a number of, at least it works with the basic mathematical operations. That is the 4 basic mathematical operations, that is addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. Anything outside that is performed using Microsoft Excel. So I would refer you to Excel if at all you want to solve your equations. My laptop needed to update when it sensed that I was using internet, and it has really taken long to get back here, but we'll be there. Kindly go through page break. I always think I have done it, but result come back when I have failed it. Okay, page breaks. Okay, I will do page breaks, but page breaks are also very, very popular questions that they ask for you to try out. The beauty with page break is that you just insert it anywhere you want. It breaks that page into 2. So I will also demonstrate how to work with page breaks later on. But you see, the beauty with computer is that you can know that you have passed something. It is easy to know that you passed something. So don't put something and you don't seem to have passed it and you go ahead and submit. Even the examiners may not give you a mark. I always love it when students mark themselves. I'm going to show you how you can do self-marking using a question paper. You mark and you can know that I have got these marks. The way you can know that you've got these marks in other subjects like physics, you can come out knowing that I will not exceed 50. Because when you count, indeed, it doesn't go beyond 50. So how do you do that in computer as well? I'll also show you, but you tick. You people, a computer practical paper is not, they have not written it anywhere that you don't go there with the pen. So you need a pen at all times. And every time you have a pen, don't leave without writing. That question paper, unlike other exams where they say you're not allowed to write on the question paper, a computer practical paper, you're allowed to do. I have not seen it written anywhere, but when you're ticking on it, underlining some of the lines to help you type well, I have never seen any invigilator stopping a student doing that. At least what they avoid most here is they stop you from peeping on some other person's screen, which I don't want to encourage here. But tick through your work and see how many marks you've got. So if you reach page break and you're seeming not to have done it well, don't tick. Anything that you seem not to have got it well, don't tick. Always go ahead and leave it, such that when you're following up these marks, you remember, I've not put page break here, let me do it. Until you're satisfied that you've done the right thing is when you can hand the question paper over. I mean, you can hand the folder over. Unlike other subjects, but in computer, you're allowed to ask something you don't know. For example, you have failed to break the page and you know the teacher who is invigilating knows how to do it. Or if you by any chance see your teacher inside that computer lab, you can always call the invigilator and request for help. You can tell them, my keyboard has failed to work, or maybe something I'm typing small letters, something at least to have a teacher come around, and you can always try your luck and see. Don't allow to go with any question not ticked. It is just not good for you to fail practicals, because it is the only way you can get all these good grades in computer. Unlike other subjects where the teacher who taught you is very far away from the exam room. So in computer, you're allowed to look through and get some help, if at all the invigilator is not very bad. Graphs, I will do that. Watermarks, main merging. How do we teacher kindly go through page break? Okay, I'm going to do page breaks. Let me start by opening Microsoft Word here, and I'll show you that. Okay, I'm going to share my screen shortly. If you see that I am not remembering your question, kindly remind me again. Don't leave here without seeing what you wanted demonstrated. Yes, Davis? Davis, your hand is up. I can't open your microphone and speak. Meanwhile, keep those questions coming in if you still want me to demonstrate something as I try to prepare this screen here for sharing. I did not close my microphone accidentally. I just locked it. I was preparing some document here. But if any question is there, I can always respond. I saw Davis's hand up. I gave him chance, but he can't speak. I don't know why. Yes, Davis? I've never seen different page colors on one document, but maybe I'll demonstrate how you would do that how you would achieve that using a text box. You see, a text box is a very powerful thing. So if the first page has red, you can create a text box with green, but put it on the same document. So a person who is not keen may not know that you have one document actually. A person may think that the same document has more than one page color. But just doing it without a text box, that one is not possible. So it's only the text box that can help you achieve that. How to make a certificate. Now that making a certificate is a little out of the topic today, because the certificate needs you to work with. Certificate will need you to work with the publisher which publisher is not anywhere near what I wanted us to talk about this afternoon. So I'm going to maybe demonstrate people who had put their questions here. Get ready. Let me know if I have not talked about what you wanted. I'll start with demonstrating. Let me see here. Page headers is not possible. Putting watermark on only one page. Okay, I'll start by demonstrating that. I'm going to copy this, and I assume this is my piece of work that I am typing. Maybe I've finished to type even. This is my piece of work that I have been typing. And they ask you to pick paragraph 2 and paste it on page maybe 3. Paragraph 2 is there, and paste it on page 3. I said the shortcut for creating a new page is Ctrl plus Enter. So I have pressed that, Ctrl plus Enter again. It has taken me to page 3 and I've pasted it there. Sometimes they tell you to paste it maybe 8 times. So that is the first time, second time, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, like that. This is called duplication of paragraphs. They may ask you to do this. So I have done that. And I am able to see clearly here that I have 3 pages. You can see the pages are down here. And they want you to put a watermark. So a watermark, by default of its name, its definition, is supposed to appear on every page. Maybe let me start by putting a watermark traditionally. You go to design and insert a watermark, and it will spin on all the pages. So, but there are these questions where the examiner is very specific. They want you to put a watermark on only one page. So I'll put my watermark. Sometimes they want you to put maybe your name behind, so you come to customize down here. And maybe they want you to put, maybe holistic, your name, the school. I'm putting the school here, holistic e-learning platform. If that is the school name, sometimes they may want you to change the color to a brighter color. You can see like that, and you apply. This watermark is going to appear on every page, and that is the definition of the watermark. It's supposed to appear on every page. What if the question does not want it to appear on every page, but they want you to have holistic e-learning platform only appearing on page 2 or on only page 3? That is what that particular person wanted me to demonstrate. And this is what you do. You come, this is what you do. Because my work already had a watermark, allow me to first remove it. Now they want a watermark to appear on maybe only page 3. So you click on page 3. You people, the first thing you do is to click on that page. Come to design, go to watermarks. Now, instead of clicking on this, you right click. The mouse has 2 buttons. You right click like this, and it will ask you to insert at current document position. So you just click there once like that, and it will appear. You can see my watermark has appeared here, but I have now to edit it. So how do you edit? You double click. You look for where there is any space where you can see that watermark, and you can see that the watermark is okay. Maybe for you to see that the watermark is only on one page. Up here, there is no watermark. It is only on this page. Maybe for you to see the open space I'm talking about is you look at this watermark and see any open space. You see, when I see here, there is no open space. There is an open space here. You double click on that watermark, but in an open space. So here, I'll double click here like this. I'll double click there. And when you double click, it will give you a chance to edit it. You can see it has allowed me to edit. So I delete what was inside and write in holistic e-learning platform. And maybe if I want its color to be changed, I come here before it closes. I come and change its color. I want it red, like that. Then you double click and it will go back like the way it appeared. So this one is holistic e-learning platform on only one page. So maybe how I want to repeat. How do you do that? Click where you want to put it. Come here to design, go to watermarks. If you want the one that looks like this or this one or this, you right click on that particular one. Then it will ask you to insert on the current document position like that. I assume I've talked about that. Then another person talked about now I seem to have forgotten these questions. Yes, page breaks. This was someone talking about page breaks. If this is your document and they are saying insert a page break on the last paragraph, you click on the last paragraph, then you come to insert here, and it will give you this option. The options are here on this other side. And when you click on this, it will divide that page break like that. So work that was initially on page 1, page break means this. Work that was initially on page 1 has been moved to a separate page. The one page has been broken into 2 pages, and it does not alter your work. It just creates a new page. The other page remains, that was empty, and this page also remains. Now, the difference between a page break and using enter to create a page is that this one creates an independent page, and you can see an independent page here that has been created. And when you check, you'll find that that paragraph is also missing on page 1. Whoever wanted that page break, I don't know if that answers your question. If it doesn't, let me know again. The other thing was hyperlink, working with hyperlinks. I'm going to put maybe for purposes of learning, if I can, I'm going to link the assignment in this document. There is an assignment I sent in your WhatsApp. I'm going to link it here. I'm going to say, click here to read the assignment. I'm going to write here that click here to view or to open the exercise. Exercise like that. Let me just make it visible to you. by bolding it like this. Now, a student who is reading this document, when he clicks here, is supposed to be directed to the exercise. Unfortunately, when you click on it, it can't take you there. Reason, we have not hyperlinked. So you are supposed to hyperlink this line, this sentence, such that a person who clicks on this is taken elsewhere. So how do you hyperlink? You highlight like this, come to insert, and the hyperlink, I don't see it here. You come to insert. Yes, you click on links here. And when you click on links, now my computer does not call it hyperlink, it calls it links, but that is where you click. I'll repeat that. Highlight, click on links. On other computer, it is called hyperlink. And when you click on it, it will open this dialog box. This dialog box will ask you, where is that work you want to link? Now, I am telling my computer that my work is a file, is an existing file already. Or if it is a place in this document, for example, if you have a table on page 6, but it is the one you want to link to, you say a place in this document. Then me, I want to use an existing file. So they will ask me, where is that file located? I will tell them my file is located on the desktop. Unfortunately, I don't understand this language. The desktop, maybe let me click somewhere here. You're supposed to tell the computer that my work is located on the desktop. So I've selected the desktop and it's running through my desktop and see what is contained on that desktop. And my folder is here, help lessons. When I open there, it has today's work is activity, practical activity 2. And when I double click on it, it becomes blue like that. It shows that my work has been hyperlinked. So if a student is reading and they realize that the teacher has said, click here to open the exercise, you just press Ctrl and you click. And when you click, that exercise is supposed to be opened automatically. So I have just tried to click there and to ask me to give it permission. And you give it some small time, it will load and open that exercise. So that is what the hyperlink does. Maybe let me try to do it one more time. Just click on it like that, and it will take its small time and make sure it opens that document in the next window in most cases. So your neighbor will ask you to link your work you're doing to a certain work or a certain file in. Now my document is already open here. That's why it is not opening. It is here. Let me close it. Let me close it. Now my document is closed, but I want to ask the hyperlink to open it for me. So I press Ctrl and click on this link. Like this, it asks me to give it permission and it will open without me going to look for it. Now that is the first option. The second option is they may put a table inside this document. Maybe, let me assume this is on paragraph on page. This is on page 5 like that. And they have also inserted a table, maybe a table. I assume this table is looking like this on page 5. Table. A table is there. It has student's name. It has SST. It has science. It has English. and it has math here. And you have students' marks there. And you may be calling this table. Let this be here. Table of marks. If that is my description of this page, of course, the heading is always bolded like that. So how do you link this? Maybe I am reading, I want to link this heading to that table. You highlight it like that, highlight, and go to hyperlink, and now tell it, linking it to a place in this document. So you click on it like that. Now my document does not have headings. Otherwise, my headings could be listed here. You realize that this one was not a heading, the one that I have put here. Headings are identified when you call them a heading. So how do you make it a heading? There are options here. So my work was in normal and the computer can't understand whether it's a heading or not. So I'll call it a heading. Maybe it was bolded and its color was black. Because I called it a heading, it made it look blue. So I have called it a heading. And how do you call it a heading? You highlight like this and tell the computer that this is a heading. We also had another heading, maybe on page 1, like this. You can also call this a heading if at all the question wants it to be a heading at some point. Let your work have headings. How do you know that it's a heading? It always have that black thing there. So I'm going to link my heading to the heading on page 5. So when I say place in this document, it will have 2 headings. You can see the headings have been listed. The first heading is Africa Needs Technology Development Fund, and the second heading is here. So it is the one I'm linking to. So I have linked my word here. So any person who wants to go to that will just press Ctrl and click. It will take you to the last page. So that is how we work with hyperlinks in a document like that. Try to make it understand that it's a heading, and when you click there, it will always take you there. For a person who wanted how to use hyperlinks, I have done that. Have been answered both watermark and page break. Okay. A person of hyperlink, I don't know if that answers you. If it doesn't, please write again. Now, a person who wanted to do with graphs in Microsoft Word. Now, I'm going to insert a graph down here. Let me insert a graph on page 6. You come and insert graphs, unfortunately, in Microsoft Word are called charts. So you select chart like that. They will give you a number of charts. So me, I want to insert what we call a cluster column. If it's a pie chart, it's there. But me, I want to insert a cluster column, or you may want to insert this, or this is called what? This is called a 3D cluster column. It looks like that. Maybe it is even better. So you just click on insert like that, and it will take its time and it will be inserted, but it will not be correct. When it is inserted, it will have default values. So you're supposed to select those default values, and so like you see, the table that I've inserted has default values. It asks me to put the actual values. Maybe let me become a little serious with the content. I will put, let me put some random names here. Maybe Patrick is the first student. The second student is Scovia. Maybe the next student here could be maybe John, maybe Sarah, maybe Sam. Sarah, Sam, and maybe this is John, like that. And they are getting random marks, maybe 78, like this. 90. Maybe 34, 46. Yeah, you have random marks like that for these students. And they want you to insert this graph. So what you do, you click where you want to put the graph. And I had told you, I am putting this on page 5, on page 6 rather, like that. I'm going to insert a graph for this. So you put where you want to insert it, you come to insert, come to charts, and you pick the one you're interested in. I wanted this one for 3D. I like that. It will take its time and it will open up there. So it has opened and they want me to put my data here. So they want me to put my information here. So you can see the default is having category 1, category 2, category 3, category 4. Instead of category 1, category, I'm supposed to have students' names. So I come and remember the students' names and type them here. The first student was Patrick. Patrick, you can see Patrick now seated in category. You can see Patrick here. The next student, so I don't remember the names. So I come and highlight everything like this. And come and paste it here because I don't remember the names. So it will have, my graph will now have Patrick, Scovia, Sam, Sarah, and John. I've finished that. So I come and work on this SST science and what? I also copy them. If I remember offhand, I can put one at a time. But because me, I don't remember, so I'll just have to copy like this. If the question is on paper, you can type in directly. But me, mine is on computer here. I can copy and paste. So my graph now looks like this. It has all students. You can see that this blue one is for SST. The second one is for science. Then the other one is for math, like that. Each student has 4. For example, if I'm to pick Sarah, she performed very well in English. You can see the English bar is tending to 90. And when I check here, Sarah is where? Sarah is here. And English was indeed the best, 89, something like that. So you can do that, it is possible. And I think I have tried to talk about that, whoever wanted to do with charts. After that, you close this form and your chart can remain there without anything. See, I can now even put my chart up here. I can put it just below that. So those are the charts you see in newspapers, you see where, but the data was put just like that. So whoever wanted a graph, I don't know if that answers you. How do you put a heading in case you have finished typing the work? Okay, I'll do that. The person who wanted the graph, let me know if that answers your work. Now, Hannah wants to put a heading in case they have finished to type their work. Okay. Now, that is what actually sometimes fails students. How do you put a heading? Now, allow me use a new file like this. I am going to assume I have been typing this work and I have typed, and I have finished. I have typed and typed and I have finished. You can see I have finished typing. How do you insert the heading? Now, the heading in many students' work that we mark, they get 0. Out of the 5 students marks, out of the 5 students computers you mark, I think only 1 student gets that right. If you get 5 students doing that question, 5 of them, only 1 person may do the right thing. The rest of the students, because there is no space here completely, they come and feed it up here, double click, do what? Instead, it will open what we call a header. And you'll put your heading, maybe if they wanted you to put the school name, holistic e-learning platform, like that. Instead, for you will walk away that I did it when you failed. For you put a header, not a heading. A header and a heading, they are different. You can see that this header is even faint. And if at all my work was on more than 1 page, like this, maybe let me just demonstrate that. Maybe if it was on more than 1 page, you can see that all the pages will have a header and you would have failed properly. So there is no mark to a student who does something like this. Instead of the heading, you put a header, no mark for you. So, and it can even cost you. So how do they put a heading? Put your cursor at the beginning of this document and create space using the enter button. Click it only once. So I'll click my enter button. I wanted my keyboard to be on the screen for you to see what I'm doing. Okay, my keyboard is here. I want it to be on screen. So you are supposed to click enter only once. So if the cursor is around here, you look for enter key on that keyboard and press it only once. It will create 1 line up here. I'll repeat that. You put your cursor at the beginning of this document like this. Then you come to the keyboard and press enter once like that. It creates space for you up here to type that heading. That is where you type your school. Like that. And if this is a heading and they want you to bold it, maybe make it red. Maybe make it red. It will only appear on the first page. And that is how the heading looks like. But now for if you hurry and put a header, you'll get no mark for that. I don't know if that answers Hannah's question. Hannah, does that help you? Let me know. Okay, I seem to have exhausted all questions. If there is any other question. Put if there is any other question. Okay. Yeah, as the question is coming up, I wanted to also demonstrate how to put work in 2 columns or 3. If they wanted you to put this work here, the 2 paragraphs, these ones, in more than 1 column, you come to its layout. In most cases, you come to page layout and pick columns. They're always here. Pick columns. And I want to discourage one thing here. Avoid using the column numbers that have been listed here. If they want to put columns, just click on columns and proceed to go to more column. Down here, there are so many options there. So while down here, you can now select the number of columns. If the examiner wants 5, you put 5 like that. If you ever make a mistake and use any of this that has been displayed here, you will be just lucky that your computer displays the correct thing. Alternatively, it will give you only 1 column throughout the paragraphs. So for those who have ever got such an experience, this is the medicine. Don't come here and just click on 2 like that. It may disappoint on other computers. Come to more, come and select the number of columns from here. If they want 3 like that, if they want 4 like that. And for those who have ever read the Bible, there are always lines drawn in between those columns. And these lines were put like this. There is an option there, line. So you put a line in between. That is how they wrote the Bible. For those who have ever read the Bible, or those who read any of those holy books, have not been keen with the Quran, but the Bible, that is how they wrote it. Put so many columns and put a line in between. Your neighbor will ask you to do that, and you may not know where to get that line from. So I felt I needed to remind you on that as well. So for Microsoft Word, I think I've tried to exhaust most of it. Just in case there is anything I've not exhausted, I've not talked about, it could have just been an oversight. Let me check my paper here. There is a document that was guiding me. Yeah. Yeah, I'll share with you this document. And maybe if there is anything I've left out, let me know. Yes, Carol, your hand is up.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So teacher, I was kindly asking if they can ask you, like, they ask us to number the pages. They tell you to use like a Roman numeral on page 1 and then use a number on page 2 in the same document. Can it happen?
That one is also not possible. The only possibility there is you separate these documents if it is at the university and the lecturer indeed only wants to see that. You separate the 2 documents. The first document can have the first 5 pages that they want you to use Roman numerals. And the last one can have the traditional numbers. Then when you're printing, you merge the 2, and the person may think you did it the way they wanted it. But for the small time I have known working with Microsoft Word, I have never seen the possibility of coming up with that. For now, I want to say that it is not possible.
Okay, teacher. Thank you.
Yeah. Then this other hand, yes, Emma. Emma, proceed. Emma, your hand is up. Unfortunately, I can't hear you.
Like questions. I don't know that I came in late, but I didn't get how to start footnotes and endnotes. Like when you're told to put numbers, can you even like start from a given number, like maybe 50, like that, not particularly begin from one.
Unfortunately, I did not hear you well, but what I heard, you were talking about footnotes and endnotes, if I'm not mistaken. I'll demonstrate how to work with footnotes and endnotes here. A footnote and endnote, they are two very important things. For example, there are many people who don't know Africa. Maybe Africa is a continent. Maybe here. In attendance, let's see this line. In attendance were ministers and government officials from Uganda. Now Uganda was represented, but someone doesn't know Uganda. So you're supposed to help them understand what is Uganda. So how do you make them understand what is Uganda? You use what we call a footnote. So you highlight the word Uganda like this, and maybe let me ask Google what is Uganda, if they can give me some lines of Uganda here. Google first come. I may not have all the details of Uganda as a country here. Uganda. Now this is Uganda. A person who doesn't have time may not come here, may not read all this. So you want to help this person understand that Uganda is a landlocked country and it has waterfalls and wildlife such as the hippos, something like that, a quick one. So I've just copied that and I'm going to tell someone to understand Uganda. So you come to insert what we call the footnotes. They are not in insert, they are got in references. You come to reference and you insert what we call a footnote, but I have highlighted Uganda up here for those who are following. So you come and write Uganda is a landlocked, is a country found in East Africa and it's landlocked. I don't have the words, so I'll just paste what Google gave me here because I don't have all the words to tell what is Uganda and it's landlocked, something like that. You're helping people understand what Uganda is. So how do we use footnotes? If I'm reading that in attendance were ministers and government officials from Uganda, but me, I don't know Uganda, I just point at this word here. Using that Kawan, it will give me an explanation to what is Uganda. Uganda is a country found in East Africa and it's landlocked, something like that. That is called a footnote. Yeah, so an end note is also inserted the same way. Unfortunately, I may not allow us to talk about everything. Kenya, what is that hand for? Kenya, your hand is up. Kenya. Kenya, your hand is up, but I can't hear you if you're speaking anything. Emma, but Emma, your network is good. Kindly don't put your video on.
I was then asking, like, if you've been told to do the page numbering and you've been given, like, maybe to start from 3, 4, like that, not necessarily start from 1.
If you're asked to do what?
To do page numbering, and they tell you to start from maybe a given number like 3 or 4, not necessarily.
Okay, that is possible. You insert page numbers the way you insert them. Now, this one wants you to put page numbers, but not starting from the normal one. So you put page numbers as usual like that. But when you come to page numbers here, come here and format the page numbers. It will ask you to start from somewhere here. So you tell it, I want to start from 7, like that. It will start from 7, and you can see page, instead of page 1, it is 7, 8, like that. Sometimes they even ask you to number your pages using X, Y, and Z, if there are 3 pages. So how do you achieve that? You also come here, come and format, put the alphabetical letters. Those are X, Y, and something. But it's supposed to, of course, this is A, B, C, like that. But if they want you to start from X to number 8, X, Y, and Z, you also come here and format such that it gives you a chance to start at X. X is here. Now it is not allowing me to put X. Yeah, X maybe. X, Y, you can see X, Y, something like this. So you can do that, and it is possible. So maybe if that is what you wanted, I've talked about it. The other question was engraving. So me, I don't got the end note. End note. Let me see how to put end note. Maybe on Africa, and you want to put end note, you come to references. The end note is here. Insert an end note. So end note is put here. Africa is a continent. Africa is a continent. And second, I think Africa is the largest, something like that. So maybe if your question was to get the difference between footnote and endnote. A footnote, the difference between endnote and footnote is that a footnote, if you put a footnote on Uganda, its description appears below that very page. But for endnote, you can see I've put on Africa. It is also like a footnote, but for it appears at the very end of this page, you can see. For a footnote on that very page, but below it, then for the end note, it goes to the very last bit of the page. Maybe if that was what you wanted. All right, so that is it. Kindly have anything typed, I demonstrate here. But there is someone who wanted to learn mail merging. It will take us some small time. I really wanted the lesson to end such that I can talk about mail merging. However, someone had requested that I talk about orientation of titles in Excel. So you people, as you're still looking around for questions in either Microsoft Word or PowerPoint, let me quickly demonstrate how to do that for him in Excel. Let me just call it like that. I want to open Excel here quickly and put random headings, or I can even use this very work I had here. There is a table I had here. For those who have never seen Excel, kindly see how it looks like. Let it not discourage you at all. I'd hesitated not to display it. But Excel is a very good thing. See, for those who love math, this is your area. Excel can do anything. For example, if you don't know how to write the alphabetical letters, maybe A, B, C, D. You just write the first three and it can write for you the remaining. ABC. This is, I pray it writes. It can't do that. It can't do that. But Excel is so good. For example, if you want to write 1, 2, 3, 4, like that, you just write the first three and it completes the remaining. You can see it can write for you all that. The days of the week, if you don't know them, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and when you autofill, it will write for you the remaining from Monday up to Saturday. Once you just write even the days, the months, January, Feb, up to December, it can autofill for you. This is called an autofill feature in Excel. If you want to write even numbers from 2, 4, 6, like that, you don't know even numbers, you just write and it will autofill. It will write for you the remaining even numbers. Do you want to add any two numbers? Do you want to subtract? Do you want to divide? Do you want to insert charts? Do you want to do anything in Excel? It's possible. So Excel looks like that. The way you type in Microsoft Word is the way you type in Excel. Like I typed name. Now here you don't draw a table. They have already drawn for you the table. I had SST, I had English, I had science. Okay, sorry about that. I had math. Now the students here, I may not manage to type. So I'll paste them here. Like this maybe. So I've pasted. I've pasted my information that was the other side here. You can type as well, but I didn't have enough time to type. Now this person was asking, how do you make the words be aligned? You highlight like this. You come here and highlight. and you format, right click and format cells. Those headings can be aligned to any angle you want. This angle is here. This is called 45 degrees. And you can see it has been aligned to 45. Now I'm showing this one because maybe the person already knows Excel. But Excel can do so many things than this. So this particular person wanted to learn how to make these headings go in alignment like this. So you come to format cells. Previously it would be numbers, come to alignment, change this to 45. They want any degree, maybe they may want to put it to 56 degrees. How does 56 degrees look like? It looks like that. So whoever wanted that, I feel I've demonstrated. Now I want to know if there are some people here who still want to do mail merging, and we get to mail merging in the remaining 2 minutes. Maybe by show of hands, if you're here and it's mail merging you were waiting for. I see if we can have some people. If there are no people, we just end the lesson here. And this is going to be the last time we are meeting at Holistic Learning Platform for ICT during this holiday. And I have been concentrating majorly on how to help you get the point. And how do you get the point? You have to maximize marks in practicals, but also you're supposed to make sure you have scored highly in paper 1. So I must have tried my best. I gave you 2 very important books, and I have put those books in that. I'm going to put those books in that folder. I had earlier requested you to send me your mails such that I can send you that information direct to your email, such that even if you go to a school where they don't allow you to have your phone, you can always access your mail. At least you can even use the teacher's phone, you can even use the computer lab, you can even use your phones, maybe if they allow phones outside school, those who stay in hostels. Let this year that is coming, you people, you're doing a very serious course. A-level is the most, anyway, I don't want to scare you, but it is the hardest level you can ever go to in your career of studying. That's why if you want to be the president, it's still the same level you need. If you want to be the area member of parliament, it's still the same level you need. So right now, you people are already threats to those MPs every time you sit in this class of senior 6. So don't allow to misfire. Many people pushed that they go to A-level, but they couldn't make it, maybe because of one reason or the other, maybe fees, maybe they couldn't get the right credit, so maybe they were denied to get to A-level, or maybe where they have come from, there are no A-level schools. But you people have successfully got there. Don't wait to be told that you're doing a very serious thing. Many people don't tell you, but this is the highest level. Actually, they call it HSC in local language there. If you get to hear from those grandparents, they will say, my child has gone to HSC, and HSC, you may need to look for what HSC means, but that was the traditional name given to A-level, something to do with highest something, HA, a highest something. You will need to read about it, but it is to do with highest. It is the most last, it is the very last. And when you get your certificate, even the Uganda National Examination Board fears that paper. They write on it advanced certificate, something like that. So when you're in that level, don't wait to be told. Kindly put off everything that you do. It is already Jan, it is coming to Feb. 1 month is already down the road. Your timetables for UNEB are already in draft. Right now, even if you wanted it, it can be given to you. They're already in draft. So UNEB is now focusing on you people. Don't allow to fail. make sure you go there. If you have a phone, my point was on the phone. If you have a phone, kindly look for a way of making it help you pass. Don't look at a phone for only creating friends for now. This is the very last level. The friends you have are almost enough. You don't need so many of them. And even if you don't have them, you'll get them at the university. So try to regulate what your phone does as you go back to school. Maybe part of what it can do, you can even switch it off, like you put off lines, and you just use it for WPS to practice some PowerPoint, some Excel, some Microsoft Word, and also to read some of the work that we've kept sending on WhatsApp. Don't have a phone and hide it. It's a good one. It's a good learning resource, but how do you use it? Don't allow to fail as you go back to your schools. We've tried what we can as holistic learning platform. You very well know that it is best taught. Anything in A-level is best taught when you're seeing people physically, but we cannot manage to do that as a holistic learning platform. We have to only use WhatsApp and Zoom, those two. So everything we do here, we just try. You cannot imagine how they teach a practical lesson online, but as holistic, we say let's just give it a try and see if it can help a person or two. So we've done our part. The remaining part is yours. Go there and shine. Don't allow to fail. I was waiting to see if there were some hands that can come up here and we enter into mail merging, but because the hands have not come, it means maybe people either have not learned how to do mail merge or they are comfortable with it. So I'll be ending here for today's session, and maybe we pray that we meet next term, if next term finds us all alive, and go there and work hard. First term that you're going to for most schools is for registration. Schools that have more than one center, like at Mbali Secondary School here, they register students on first come, first serve. So if you delay to register, most schools charge about 200,000 for registration. Like I told you, this is a level you're not supposed to joke with. Joke with any other thing, but not this level. When you finish this level, you can choose to sit for 10 years or any years you want, and you can go back anywhere and study. Without this level, you may not have any of those privileges. So don't play with this chance. As you go back to school, first term is going to be for registration. Make sure you register on time and make sure you've registered the right subjects. I don't want to see students going to senior 6 first term and you're changing combination. Make sure you make up your mind as early as now. So I want to encourage you to make personal reading timetables. That one, do it from now as you're going to school. Don't reach school when you're disorganized. You don't know which subject you're supposed to read on Monday. You don't know the one on Tuesday. There are some games, maybe the school is to play some game after lessons. Then for you, you also don't know whether you're to go and attend those games or not because you don't have a timetable that is guiding you. You literally don't know what you're doing at school. So make sure you have a revision timetable. Let it not be congested. Have some free time where you can sit with your friends and jazz. But whenever there is business on your timetable, walk and read. If the timetable reads chemistry, it reads history, it reads anything, go for it and read it. Otherwise, if you go there when you're disorganized, you're going to waste your first term. Before you realize, the school will be preparing for practicals. So, before you realize, the school will be preparing for mocks. So if you go and waste your first term, just know you will never catch up because the following term will be for mocks and the last term will be for UNEB. You people, A-level is the hardest. For those who have been told it is easy, it is the hardest. Work that is taught in A-level is supposed to be about 5 years if you were to put it down. but they teach it in 2 years. Actually, they teach it in 1.5 years, because your senior 5 first term was wasted because you were waiting for senior 4 results. So that time is never enough. Always walk to the teachers, they give you the right books to read. You're supposed to read using the syllabus, not using what the teachers give you. Use the syllabus. If the syllabus says in senior 5, you must have finished PowerPoint. The school has not taught PowerPoint for you, you read. So don't read using the school, what the teachers have given you. And make sure you have a timetable. Don't allow to go there when you're disorganized. Let the students in that particular class you study in know that this guy must have changed when he came back. So have summary books all the time. Don't read math using the math notes book, the one where you write your notes. Read math, just go to that math book as a reference. Always have summary somewhere. Don't over-congest your book trying to calculate. Have enough space where you do your calculations. From history, there are those mnemonic devices, those short letters that can help you remember so many words. Write them also somewhere. Don't just go there when you're not organized. This is the hardest level, so you have to plan for it well. And A level, you do it once. Do A level once. And for your own information, when you fail senior 6, it is best that you go back to senior 5, of which you people, if you fail now senior 6, the senior 5 that is coming has a new curriculum. So think about that. Don't allow to fail. Work very hard. So maybe I may not have the best to tell you, but what I can say for now is that have enough preparation. For those sending in the mails, I'm going to copy them quickly into that document, and maybe I'll end there for now. Have a good evening. If there is no question, if there is any question, kindly have your hand risen up. I'll give you a chance to ask the question if it's there, and I'll respond. If there is no question, you're now free to leave the meeting. I am going to remain here with those people who want to get this work. I'll be copying their mails and put them in this document. For those who really don't have any question, you're free to save your data and go off. Want to thank you for attending the lesson. We meet again next, maybe next term, if you come back again.
Okay, teacher, bye.
People who have said, I saw, I think 1 or 2 mails. Now you will check your mails and you will see a link requesting you to register in here. You'll receive this in your mails and kindly use it to look for this folder. It can help you use these support files anywhere you'll be. I'm going to add the first person. But whoever has not sent in their mail, I'm going to send this on WhatsApp, so don't worry. Okay, we will be stopping here. Someone should give us a closing prayer. How do you make a combined bar? Unfortunately, we don't have more time, but I will see what to do. Someone should give us a closing prayer. You people here don't pray or what? Just put up your hand and you give us a closing prayer, a polite one. It doesn't have to be very long. Yes, Pravia, you can give us. Pravia, your microphone is closed. Open and give us the closing prayer. Okay, Pravia's microphone can't open. Isaac, did you want to give us a closing prayer? You go ahead.
Let's humble ourselves for a prayer. Good Father, we thank you for this. We thank you for this great day, Father. Thank you for this sorry day. We thank you for our teacher who has helped us assist this sorry day, assist these lessons began. Father, let whatever we have been taught, let whatever we have been told be put into our minds forever. Let it be useful in our future. Lord Father, bless our teacher. Be with him in whatever he's doing. We have prayed and believed through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Pravia. And blessings as you people go back to school. We pray that we meet again and come back here to Holistic next holiday. When you have some points, at least don't allow to come back with explanations that now you know paper balance, what. Go work hard, get the marks. Have a good evening and we meet next time.